Welcome to the Aretuza Gwent World Cup draw show. Today we will be taking a look at the upcoming weeks and how the Gwent Aretuza World Cup will take place, what the teams will be participating, and the qualifiers and the format. Between the 6th and 16th of April, 10 different nations will battle it out for the title of Gwent World Champion. We will have 2 different groups of 5. 4 teams per group have already been invited. 8 nations that have been invited are the Gwent's strongest nations due to crown points that were willing to participate in the event. These nations include China, Germany, Poland, the UK, Russia, USA, Spain and Finland. Despite the invites, we wanted other nations to be able to participate in the event as well. That's why this weekend, on the 4th of April, we are hosting qualifiers. In the last weeks, the registration for these qualifiers have been open and 9 teams sign up. 9 different nations from 5 different continents wanted to fight for the 2 remaining spots to enter the main event. These nations are Argentina, Australia, Austria, the Czech Republic, Mexico, Italy, Hungary, the Philippines and finally South Africa. During the main event we will cooperate with many prestigious players. The teams, I can tell you, are stacked with many of Gwent's biggest names participating, 3 challenger winners, numerous open winners, open participants, Gwent Masters event participants and strong players from the Gwent community tournaments. On the other hand, the casting sites will be strongly represented. We have official casters, community casters cooperating with us, and moreover, the casts will be done in various different languages. We will offer English casts for several games, but also Chinese, Spanish, Polish, German and Russian casts for the respective nation games. Let's talk a bit more about the qualifiers. The qualifiers are coming up this weekend. Since it's 9 teams participating, we came up with a special format because 9 is an odd number and highly unusual. There will be 3 groups of 3 teams fighting against each other. Once all teams played against each other, that's 2 matches per group per team, the 2 best teams will proceed. So the worst team will be eliminated. That leaves us with 6 teams after the first stage. Then these teams will be seeded again into 2 groups of 3. These 2 groups of 3 fight one more time against each other and the 2 best teams will proceed to the next stage. The next stage then is the elimination stage. The winner of the first group will play against the second place of the second group and vice versa. These elimination matches will decide who will participate in the main event. For the main event, the tournament format is a bit different. We have 10 nations participating, 8 invitees and 2 nations from the qualifiers, the wildcards. These 8 nations and the 2 nations from the qualifier spot will be divided into 2 groups of 5 teams. These 5 teams will face each other during the group stage and the 2 strongest nations from each group will advance to eliminations. The semi-finals will be played with the winner from Group A against the second from Group B and the winner from Group B against the second from Group A. There will be a match, there will be semi-finals, a match for the first place and a match for the third place because we have prizes for all 3 places. Now let's move on to the draw show. Here I have a glass with the 9 nations that are registered for the qualifier event. I will be drawing 3 nations for each group out of this glass, so we will know the groups for the qualifier event. Let's see who we will face in Group 1. Group 1 is featuring Mexico, South Africa, and the Czech Republic. The second qualifier group of 3 will consist of the Philippines, Argentina, and Italy. That leaves us with the remaining group of Hungary, Austria, and Australia. Now that we have the qualifier groups, let's tend to the groups of the main event. We will draw the groups of the main event in a slightly different format. We divided the teams in two different pots. The first pot on the left is the pot with the Gwent strongest teams. These teams accumulated most of the crown points and are considered the 4 Gwent strongest nations. On the other hand, we have the 4 Gwent second strongest nations, let's say, that have not accumulated as many points as the main nations, but are still very dangerous and to be considered strong in the tournament. We do this so the groups are fairly divided and there is an equal chance for everyone to advance in each group. Let's start with Group 1. In Group 1, the first nation is China. The second nation in Group A is Russia. Third is Poland. And the fourth is Finland. The fifth nation in Group A will be determined in the qualifiers. Let's move on to Group B. Nation 1 is going to be Germany. Then, joining Germany will be Spain. The two last nations from this pot will be United Kingdom and the USA, plus the qualifier team that advances also on Saturday. Now that we have the tournament format and the bracket explained, we are looking forward to welcome you at the event. We will be announcing shortly with when and whom we cooperate, where you can watch and participate in the event, and many more things. Stay tuned and thank you for joining us.